Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is the Bitter Gardener. And I was actually tagged in the 5 questions thing that's sort of kind of circling around in our community right now. I was tagged by the Sapper Gardener, and that's Sapper Gardener. Make sure you go to his channel. Make sure you like all of his videos. Make sure you leave a comment on all of his videos. And make sure you subscribe to his channel. Sapper Gardener, I want to thank you for tagging me in the 5 questions thing. That's what I call it, the 5 questions thing. And thank you for the kind words that you gave about my YouTube page. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. The first question is, why do I garden? There's actually a 2-part answer to that. Back in 2009, I actually went to Las Vegas, Nevada for the first time, and went there with a couple buddies, and we're out there enjoying Las Vegas, and we were actually at a pool party. And I'm sitting at the bar, and the bartender makes me a pomegranate slushie. And when I tell you that pomegranate slushie was so good, it was an alcoholic beverage, I won't lie. But that pomegranate slushie was so good. And the only thing on my mind was, when I get back to Florida, whatever pomegranates are, I have to grow them so I can just have a whole bunch of them. So, you know how when you're excited about something, and then 2 or 3 weeks go by, and your mind goes to something else, and you sort of kind of forget about it. That's sort of kind of what happened. And then it was probably a year later when I actually got the tree, and I drove all the way out to this nursery that was like 45 minutes away, and they had a good number of pomegranates, but there was one pomegranate tree with flowers on it. And so, of course, I got that one and brought it back home and put it in the ground. Now, that's the first part. The second part is probably 4 years ago, and I would probably go with the second part, but I had to throw the first part in because, depending on who you ask, some people would say, well, back in 2010 when I actually got the tree. And then some people would say, nah, Bitter Gardener, 4 years ago. So that's why I'm giving both parts. So the second part is, about 4 years ago, I actually fell in love with jalapeno peppers. How did I fall in love with jalapeno peppers? I can't tell you. But I was going to Walmart like every 3 or 4 days buying jalapeno peppers. So, of course, one day I just got the bright idea, like, why not grow jalapenos? So, went to Home Depot. They actually had a sale, because I want to say it was April, like towards the end of April. And here in Florida, towards the end of April, I mean, we're starting to get like extreme hot weather at this point, because we're going into May. So, Home Depot had sales on all their plants, and they had it was like 5 plants for $10. So I'm like, cool. Because, I'm going to Walmart back to back to back buying jalapenos. So I'm thinking, cool, I'm about to have this endless supply of jalapenos. So at the time, I got the jalapenos, and I remember I came home, and I remember there was 1,000 mosquitoes outside. And I remember I just stuck them in the ground so fast because the mosquitoes were everywhere. And I just did a horrible job at planting them. And my dad actually came out, and he looked at them, and he was like, they're not going to grow like this. So following his instruction and his direction, we dug them up, put them in some containers. And that's sort of kind of how I really got started truly gardening. But like I said, some people will say, but hey, back in 2010, you bought your tree, so that's when you started. But really, when I really got into it was about 4 years ago. And I got my jalapenos, and then, of course, from there, I got some habaneros. Then I started growing tomatoes. Then I actually bought, I want to say that's what happened. I actually tried to buy a chocolate tree. Well, I didn't try and buy it, I bought it. And the guy that I bought it from, when I was getting ready to have it shipped to my house, I noticed, hold on, he lives in the same city as me. So I actually started talking to him, and we met up. And when we met up, he actually gave me 3 extra trees. I think he gave me a papaya, he gave me a star fruit tree, he gave me the chocolate tree, and he gave me something else. And so after that, I think I just went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I was just like, I'm growing everything. And that's how it all started with the Bitter Gardener. Number 2, why do I YouTube? I think just being excited about gardening, I just decided to vlog about it. That's pretty much it. I think I was just so excited about growing things, and and I'll tell you guys something, that I actually don't live on the property. That's actually my parents' property. That's where I grew up. And of course, you see all the land there, so I just take plants there and I plant it. And so and there were certain times where I could only get to the garden like on the weekend. So, like during the week, I would always have it on my mind, like, hey, I wonder if this plant is still alive, or I wonder if that plant is still alive. And I think that sort of kind of kept the excitement going. And as a result, I decided to vlog about it, if that makes any sense. All right. Number 3, how long have you had your garden? Well, that goes back to number 1. All depends on how you want to look at it. Some people can say 2010, some people can say 2014. Just all depends how you want to look at it. Number 4, what do you grow? Okay, funny that's a question, because I actually did a list before I was even tagged in this 5 questions thing, and I'm actually growing 30 different things in the garden. 30 different things, 30 different fruits and vegetables. All right. And when I say 30, I don't mean like, okay, well, I have a jalapeno, I have a habanero, I have a ghost pepper. No, all those are just peppers. That's one thing. Oh, well, I'm growing the red robin tomato. Oh, I'm growing a celebrity tomato. No, that's one thing. So I actually have 30 things that I'm growing in the garden. That's crazy. So, yeah. And for the most part, as you guys see, I mostly focus on like fruit trees and stuff like that. I have my vegetables, but for the most part, I'm the fruit guy. And number 5, what's my favorite thing to grow? Well, my favorite thing to grow is something that I shouldn't be growing. Every year I sort of kind of try and grow something that's not supposed to grow in my grow zone. And I actually bought a lychee tree. And of course I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon. But I have a lychee tree, and I actually have some coffee plants that I'm growing. Now, those 2 things, of course, aren't supposed to grow in my area. But those things sort of kind of keep the excitement going, because for the most part, my peppers, my jalapenos, I know they're going to grow. I know I'm going to come home or go to my parents' place, and I know they're going to be there. It's still technically home, but, I'm going to go over there, and I know my peppers are going to be there. I'm going to go there, and, my tomatoes are going to be there. I know my tomatoes are going to be good for the most part. And I think it's the plants that I'm not supposed to grow that, like I say, keeps the excitement going. Because, I'm just wondering, like, hey, I wonder if that lychee tree died on me. Like, matter of fact, I spoke to my mother, and she told me that my lychee tree, because it's still in the container, and she told me, like, yeah, that tree you bought fell over. And I'm just like, oh, man, I need to go over there. And I wonder, did any branches break? You know how that goes. So that's pretty much, those plants that I'm really not supposed to grow in my zone have always been my favorite things to grow, because they're always on my mind, because I'm always wondering if they're still alive. So that pretty much does it for the 5 questions. I hope that didn't bore you too much. Now, for the second fun part, now I get to tag other people. So I'm going to tag 5 more people. Now I'm going to tag Tera P. I'm going to tag More of the Moors. I'm going to tag Little Beans Garden. I'm tagging my man Razor Bucks. And I'm tagging Lovers for Healthy Life. So, I tag you guys. Let's get those videos out. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I think this is probably the longest video I've ever done. I'm thinking of about 9 minutes. That's pretty funny. Anyways, as always, if you like the videos, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is the Bitter Gardener.